I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf.
And I am CD Spivey.
And this is Censored Freedom.
That's right.
What's that?
That's right.
That's right. How you doing this week, Bubba?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Good. Glad to hear it. I got a question for you and for our viewing audience starting out. Do you believe that right now, as you sit, that you are better off than you were 4 years ago?
Oh, hell no. No way.
No.
Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
No. Absolutely not. I have taken a pay cut and my tax liability is higher.
Well, you and 52% of Americans agree. And yeah, I'm not doing much now. I am making more per hour than I was making then, but I'm not getting anywhere ahead at all with that extra money. It's basically what I need to survive right now, or I wouldn't be able to on what I was making then.
Yeah. If basically everybody's income may have either stayed the same or may have come up a little bit, but not at the rate of inflation.
Not at all. We've got higher gas bills, so we knew when they shut down the pipeline that was going to happen.
Yeah.
That was day one of the Biden administration. The energy prices spiked.
I think the only thing keeping our gas is kind of low at this time is they're still using part of the
Reserve.
the reserves.
Yeah, it's the only way they're getting away with it. They want to make sure there's no reserves left at all.
Yeah, it's
And
like
they
here
can
you
only-
go, here you go, Trump.
Right. And now we're down to the voting season again. You know, they got the prices, I'm sure, at some kind of relative low, right? And we raised them $3, but they're down $1.
Yeah, just so they can buy the votes to get through election season, and then go back to, and then we say we vote Trump in between November and January is going to be real rough.
It's going to be,
because they're going to want to punish us as much as they possibly can.
more so than they've already been trying to do.
Yeah.
I said before, 4 years ago, this is going to be a punishment presidency for the American people.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to hurt America as much as possible. People said I was stupid and crazy back then.
Yep.
Turns out I was just ahead of my time. I also pay more for food, right?
Oh, yeah, everybody does. I mean, just you think you pay more for food being a bachelor, man. Imagine the mom with 3 kids
Mm-hmm. I know with the
trying to buy food for a household.
with the people that we had here, which wasn't a family, but there was about 3 adults here at one point. We were pushing $500 and $600 a month in groceries. Now, mind you, that's because one person liked to eat more than they should have, but that's not the point. The grocery bill is friggin' sane.
Mm-hmm.
And going out to eat's not any better. At this point, it's about the same, I'd say.
No, you're not doing very good at all. I mean, if you went out to eat for half the meals on during your week, you'd be broke.
I did it the numbers today. In a month, if I spent $20 a day on takeout. Now, mind you, this isn't the best food in the world by any means. It's not the healthiest. I want to be very clear. But if I were to spend $20 a day, that would last me 2 days, right? $20 would last me 2 days, so that'd be $10 a day. We're down to. I could make it through the month. I think I had earlier like $250 doing that way, ordering food every other day, which isn't cheap. It still isn't cheap.
Be better off heading down there to the Kroger or the Publix and grabbing your pasta and your veggies and everything you need to basically make little meals at home for yourself.
And why is it more important?
I do that for myself. One, it's a survival skill.
Yes.
Cooking for yourself is a survival.
That's what I wanted to get to right there, the survival aspect of it. You'll have it if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas depending on Uber to bring your food.
This dude right here can make a fire, get a can of corn and some pasta and some meat out of his fridge or freezer, and I can make something.
Or peas.
Yeah. Well, I have peas too.
Because corn don't digest, but that's a whole nother Utilities have went absolutely through the roof.
Yeah, utilities are insane, right? I mean, they're not as bad as gas and food have gone up, but yeah, I've noticed a little bit of an uptick in utilities as far as electricity and stuff. So we don't pay water since we have our own independent water source.
So utilities, internet, food, gas. Mind you, internet's not a necessity, but to some people, you'd wonder. So all of this has went up. Have wages went up?
Very little, if any.
If any. Like I said, I'm making more now because I got a different job than I had then. But even just making more than I was, I'm barely surviving.
No, with freight rates and, I'm in the transportation industry, and freight rates, the way they are right now, over the last 5 years, freight rates, flatbed, what I do, are down 45%.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, van and reefer anywhere in between 15 and 25% down.
That's huge.
In the last 5 years.
That's a quarter of the business they were doing, 25, at the max number you put there. That's a quarter of the business they're doing just gone, just no longer happening, right?
No, that's right. It's no longer happening.
That's insane.
Yeah. So you have this big volume of trucks in certain areas, and you have several trucks trying to fight over the same loads. It's starting to be that way.
So you would think this would work out better for the driver then. They'd be offering the driver better.
Well, no, the freight rates are down because they don't need all these trucks. There's an oversupply of trucks, and basically they can pick and choose what truck they want to haul the load.
Gotcha.
So they can cut the truck driver's throat.
True.
Or cut the trucking company's throat.
True.
On the rates. So yeah, rates are way down.
And this isn't just by chance that all of this has happened, right? It didn't just something happen and all of a sudden prices went through the roof. There's been no natural disaster to the degree, not counting North Carolina, but over the whole country. There's been no reason why this should happen, right?
Well, as you were saying, I mean, they're trying to punish us.
Right. And yeah.
And the whole climate change, nonsense is really part of it. But I mean, think about what the climate change activism really is. It's destruction of Western industry.
That's all it is. Any kind of industry that could pollute the air.
It's a controlled decline.
Now, look at China. Do you think they're doing this?
I don't give a shit.
No. So what are we saving?
I mean, China's finances. Chinese finances are still in the shitter, but for other reasons.
Well, look at the amount of pollution they put out and don't care.
Oh,
right?
they don't care. No, they don't
so care. If all these other European countries are trying to...
If we shut down a coal plant, they're going to start too.
There you go. So we're wasting our time. It's a big hoax. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money.
And we burn coal cleaner than they do because they don't give a fuck.
And it's a way to try to tax the citizens again. Think I'm crazy? No, we don't have a climate tax here in the States. No, but they do in Canada.
Yeah. Carbon
They
tax.
brought that in Canada. Yes, they did.
Yeah. I wonder how much money Al Gore's making off of that.
Right?
Son of a bitch.
Well, he has been the climate spokesperson.
I'm embarrassed to call him a Tennessean. Really am.
We disowned him. Back when he did that shit, we disowned Tennesseans. We disowned Gore.
Oh, God.
And we just pray nobody looks up where he's from and remembers it from time to time. But would you agree that Kamala wants us broke and dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do believe Kamala wants us dead and broke.
And not only does she want us dead and broke, she wants us to pay for dying. Well, some are saying we already pay for dying. Yes, we do. They want to raise the death taxes again, ladies and gentlemen.
They want to completely destroy generational wealth.
No matter what it is, they want to tax it.
Yeah, they don't want you passing wealth onto your family when you pass away.
They don't want the ability for anyone else to jump classes. Period.
Wait a minute. Confiscation of inheritance. I just thought about this. Confiscation of inheritance.
Where have I heard that? Where have I know I've heard that. Where have I heard that, Bubba?
The Communist Manifesto.
The 10 planks. That's where that's from. Son of a bitch. It's almost like she's a communist. Oh, yeah, she is a communist, folks. We've been telling you that for a while now.
Yeah.
She also wants to tax. So if I have money in the stock market,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say I get lucky and I hit red one, and it's running like hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got $100,000 off of my $10 investment. Yes, I'm being extreme. I'm being goofy about it. I know. So I've made all this money, but until it's in my hand, do I really have that money?
No.
And that money could disappear at any time, right?
Yeah, but come April 15th, you better pay your unrealized gains taxes on it, right?
But it's unrealized. How am I going to pay something they don't realize?
Yeah. They're saying your stocks that you have not
They want to
cashed in
tax you on
as income.
And this counts as cryptos too.
Yeah.
Crypto stocks, any investment that you have made a gain on.
What about somebody like me? We bought a home. Right? My wife bought a home right before I married her for $79,900, 4 acres, double wide trailer out on 4 acres out in the country, and now that property is worth over $200,000.
That's a huge difference.
I can't afford the taxes on that gain.
No, there's no way anyone could.
We would lose the property.
That means anytime you got ahead by any means, they've got to come in and kick you so you fall down a little bit every time.
And let me tell you something else. This was not true under Obama, and it won't be true now. The whole nobody will pay any more taxes as long as you don't make over $400,000. Bullshit.
She meant to say under 400,000. Why do they always do that?
My tax liability under Obama and my tax liability under Biden, once Biden took control of that shit, went up.
Went through the roof, didn't it?
Obama, it wasn't as bad. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad.
Right.
Under Biden, it is a freaking nightmare.
What about under Trump?
Under Trump, our tax liability went down.
It's almost like Trump was doing something right in the economy.
Because the lefty, the lefty dipshits with terminal TDS don't. They're all like, it's just tax breaks for corporations. Stop it! Your Marxism is showing. Because the whole thing about attacking corporations that create jobs, why would you do that? I mean, all you're doing is running jobs out of your country, for one.
That's the point.
And two, this whole doctrine of jealousy, this envy of they're richer than me, and I hate them because they're richer. No. You should strive to be as rich as them. Stop being jealous of them and start emulating what they're doing to become rich. And no, they did not cheat you out of that money. You didn't earn it.
Isn't that kind of the American dream? The fact that you can start here
you can foster the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
And actually become wealthy. Yes.
Yes. That's the dream in America to do. That's how you make it in this country. You should be able to jump classes or make more money or however you want to put that, right?
Yep.
You should be able to do that. That's your freedom. That's your right in this country. And back to this corporate shit real quick. It really has pissed me off the last couple of years with this inflation. We know the government created all of these issues. We know the government created the issues with the gas, the food, the utilities, the taxes, everything. In
an organic economy, the only pollutant is government.
100%. And now they say, well, it's these greedy corporate guys taking profits. That's the problem. It's corporations. They're the ones that are screwing you, not us.
No. They're acting like there's only a certain amount of water in the lake and it only rises certain boats.
Right.
No. A rising tide raises all ships.
Exactly. And this is another way to convince the people to turn against themselves.
Yes.
And you're right. The $400,000 a year lie, that is exactly what's going to happen.
That's class warfare. And you know what? Somebody making $400,000 a year really is not rich.
No.
They're not rich.
That's not anywhere near rich.
That is upper middle class, but it's not rich.
You ain't even touched a mill yet. Right.
People making $400,000 a year, and that's what the president makes.
Before
really
bribes.
may have a couple $1 million in holdings.
Mm-hmm.
May be able to move themselves into a millionaire bracket only because of the ability with their income to invest the way they should be able to.
Right.
I mean, if this $400,000 a year guy goes out and buys a Lambo, you know, and then a $1 million home and puts himself in $3 million in debt, that mofo is broke.
Yes, sir. There is no realized gains there.
No, you got to treat your money right too.
Speaking of treating right, that is one thing Kamala's been having an issue with, not only treating the economy and the money right,
Oh yeah.
but the different groups of people in this nation.
She hates everybody, but she hates religious people in general.
A lot worse than one
Yes,
would think.
she did walk into a church, but I want to go ahead and you know, we don't have that footage with us. I did watch it. She looks like a fish out of water when she was in that church.
Surprised it didn't catch fire, her or the church. Either way. So, wow, she really walked into a church.
Yeah, just recently.
Well, I mean, Catholics go into churches, so there's that. I'm sorry. With this story, I shouldn't have said that. I don't dislike Christians. I dislike bad people. But with that said, so somebody at one of her events stood up and yelled, praise Christ or Jesus Christ or something to that effect. It was a positive Christian slogan. To which her response was,
You're at the wrong rally.
wow. This is the person that wants to be the American president.
Basically, she just pissed in the face of evangelicals.
Exactly what she did. So we know that, and here's the funny part. We know the evangelicals have been all going towards Trump. Mm-hmm. We know all the Christians, are the majority, I'll say the majority, there are stupid people everywhere, are going towards Trump, right?
Yeah.
So if you were a smart person, that's a big if, you would try to do things to, I don't know, win them back to your side.
No, not smart.
You're smarter than that toaster fire of Kamala. But anyway, you would think a smart person would try to win them back, right? Try to do something to win the Christian vote back because they're all going over there that side.
Well, I made a point on Trump or on X here not too long ago about 63% of the United States is Christian.
That's
And
way
I'm like,
over half.
I was like, wait a minute. She doesn't want to win?
Yeah, she does not.
Is she really trying to freaking just jump off a bridge?
I've wondered that.
This is like political seppuku.
Look at it. Well, I've wondered that since the beginning of the campaigns early on, like Joe, right? Why would you debate Trump in June when you know you're senile anyway? Why would it? It's like they've been trying to do their best to hand this thing back to Trump. I swear to God.
Yeah. At the same time, they're trying to kill Trump. What I think is really funny is this whole McDonald's thing.
Oh, you know they didn't try to kill Trump. That's just a setup.
Trump was in McDonald's yesterday, you know, doing a little 15-minute skit for, you know, learning how to cook fries, you know, and handing out meals to supporters. These were supporters of Trump, okay?
So he made it true then that a presidential candidate has now officially worked at McDonald's.
Somewhat, yeah. Well, the left is flipping out saying, this was staged. Of course it was staged,
No.
you dumbasses.
No. Why would they have to stage something like that?
Because they couldn't have any crazy Democrats coming through the line, him handing them food. These crazy Democrats are trying to shoot him.
I guarantee you every person in that building
They
is
had to
vetted.
shut down they had to shut down that restaurant and only have certain people in that restaurant to do that little fun thing for him to do it.
They had to be vetted. They had to have background checks. They had to have FBI interviews. I guarantee you they went through the gambit just to be a part of this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I guarantee you that's the case. Not to count, like you said, Secret Service outside on every corner, as would be expected to. I'd want them to be.
Secret Service guiding cars into the drive-through. You know, there was a picture of that, and I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's staged. Wouldn't you want it to be staged? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
They have to. Like,
and they were complaining that they wouldn't let Democrats into the line or something like that. I'm like, of course not. They try to kill him.
Would they do the same on the other side? If it was a Democrat thing, would let a Republican in the same parking lot as this event?
But Democrats and Democrat politicians aren't really that proud of an honest day's work.
They don't know what that is. Politicians, at least. There are some hardworking Democrats, the old school Democrats. But yeah, the new school, none of them know
their party has left them behind.
Very far. As a matter of fact, she went as far as not only did Kamala tell the person that they were in the wrong place when they praised Christ. There was a Al Smith dinner. Now, this is a event that happens at least every 4 years, if not annually. Where you got the presidential candidates and, you know, the different parties come together for a night of laughter and meals and fun. It's one of those few times you're going to see people in the room together that you won't normally see outside of Congress.
Trump sat beside
Schumer, wasn't it?
Yeah, that punk-ass Schumer.
Chuck
the schmuck.
I like what he told Chuck about a woman president. Did you hear that?
No.
He said, don't worry, if Kamala fails, you'll still have a chance to be the first woman president, Chuck.
He also addressed the white dudes. Was it the white dudes for Harris?
For Kamala, yeah.
Talking about how white dudes for Harris don't vote for him, but their wives
do,
and their wives' lovers do,
and their wives' boyfriends. Yeah, that was a good one.
I was like, dude, that is a freaking burn. That's like Doug Emhoff. You know, I think. I kind of was saying something about Doug Emhoff. He's the kind of guy that he's the reason why that there's chairs in the corner of the hotel room so his bitch ass can watch.
He probably enjoys that. I mean, you can tell who wears the pants in that family.
Dude acts like a bitch.
And they're usually trousers, it looks like.
Dude acts like a bitch.
So the Al Smith dinner, as we said, Trump went and was hilarious.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Kamala,
great.
Not only did she not show up, she sent a video.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, I haven't seen the video.
Totally making fun of Catholics at a Catholic dinner.
Ouch.
Yeah. It was kind of a slap in the face.
I'm going to have to watch this video and maybe even share it on X for you guys. That might be something that we go ahead and do for you here.
Absolutely. If you can find it, I'm all for it.
I'm all for
100%. But they had a professional...
Mr. Producer, get on that.
Mr. Producer's busy right now. So mean.
Get to work, Mr. Producer.
Always picking on me. They had a comedian, an official comedian, emceeing the event, right?
Yeah, Jim Gaffigan. I thought Jim Gaffigan was a lefty, but he completely freaking kicked Democrats in the teeth.
So most of them are like you'd be well within your rights to think he'd be a lefty, as most comedians tend to be on that side. But apparently he was giving them shit too, right?
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious, man. That was great. It was. That's great.
Cool. I like Jim. I like Jim's comedy. He's really good.
Hot Pockets. That's the only skit that I can remember.
So. Speaking of Kamala, once again, she's done a lot of stupid, folks. This show is hopefully going to convince you the reasons why you do not need to vote Democrat, let alone Kamala, right? Why Trump is your better option, in our opinion. And I think we've laid out a good enough case so far we could stop and be happy with it, but we ain't going to.
So that we can be unburdened by what has been.
When you consider the importance of the passage of time.
The significance of the passage of time.
Oh, the significance. That's the significance of the past.
Understand the significance of the passage of time. And the significance of the passage of time is significant because of the passage of time. And we should be unburdened by what has been.
I swear you did that better than she could. Are you running for president?
What kind of dressing do you want on that frickin' word salad? Freaking stupid bitch.
It definitely ain't going to be American if she's having it. Wisconsin, she had a campaign stop, I guess. And
no, if there's going to be some dressing on that, it's going to be white and gooey. It's going to have to be.
Nothing less for Heels Up Harris, ladies and gentlemen. Ranch.
Willie Brown DNA.
Willie Brown Mayo.
Willie Brown's Mayo. Holy shit, man.
I pray to God that is not an actual product.
I need to stop listening to the Comedy Channel before coming in here and recording a fucking show.
No, definitely not. I think that's what makes this show so good.
Holy shit. Anyway, she was in Wisconsin.
She was.
Running her yap.
That's right.
And, of course, she has to tell that lie that's been repeatedly debunked so many times that police officers were killed on January 6th.
Lie. Who was killed on January 6th? There were 2 people killed. It don't seem to
Roseanne
be.
Boylan.
That's right, civilian.
Ashley Babbitt.
Oh, yeah, another civilian.
Were killed by police officers.
Wait a second. We're killed by police. I thought they killed police. No police died.
No.
They just...
Now, one died the next day of like, natural
That's January
causes.
7th. We're talking January 6th.
Yes.
Nobody in law enforcement died
and
at the Capitol
and that police
on
officer
J6.
that died was not beat by a fire extinguisher.
Not at all. He was walking around within minutes of that claim having been made that he was beaten in the head with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
You can see him in the video a little while later, walking around, no problem at all, no lumps on the head, no nothing. Another one of those many lies that the Democrats love to play. And now the telephone game has gotten out of hand, ladies and gentlemen. We know that every time the Democrats tell a story, they got to throw the numbers out. Apparently, there's been something like 230 million Americans that have died from COVID. The only problem is that's how many Americans live in the country, period.
309, supposedly, without the illegal aliens.
So does it seem to you that 2/3 of our country is missing?
So 309, 320, probably 340 million total with the illegal aliens.
So we're supposed to believe half our country is missing. Have not seen that big a drop in people around me.
No.
I don't know about you.
No.
But this is what they keep coming out and saying. Hundreds of millions of people have died in America because of COVID, which is a horseshit lie, both COVID and the people that have died.
Yeah, COVID is nothing.
COVID is another word for the flu. You got COVID, get some ivermectin, you'll be all right.
Oh, you can't say that. You know, you can't say that.
Oh, I can't say ivermectin?
You can't say that on ScrewTube and actually. Well, okay, this video is screwed on ScrewTube, so
yeah, ScrewTube and kiss my ass. I'm surprised we've been up there as long as we have. I really
ain't nobody looking at our shit. They're not letting them.
I believe that. That I believe.
Thank you, everybody on X. Because YouTube fucking hates us.
And Rumble. Huge shout out to all my peeps over on Rumble.
More people on Rumble, so appreciate you guys.
But this telephone game is now getting out of hand. Apparently, there were 140 officers killed at J6, according to Kamala.
Yeah, that's no.
I don't think there were 140 officers at J6.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of officers at I can't count them because I wasn't there. I mean,
there were a lot. I don't know about 200 though.
We have to have another Bread and Fellows interview and ask him. But
right. But again, there were 2 deaths on J6. Neither one of them were officers. There were not 140 deaths on J6. Full stop. There were 2.
Yeah, that's just that propaganda that's been shoved down our throats so many damn times. We know it's bullshit. I mean...
But remember, it's the white people that's the problem. says the white guy. I don't know. I'm kind of yellow jaundiced today. New lighting setup here is
Damn
really.
white people, give me my land back.
I mean, you could say that. I did a DNA test. Even though I've got a story of like Cherokee in my family, I did a DNA test, Bubba. I cannot claim that at all. I am 98% British and Irish.
My great grandmother's purebred Cherokee Indian.
I'm from the whitest part of the entire world, right? Like parts of the entire world.
Freaking honky. I bet you think mayonnaise is spicy.
Just a little bit.
Give me my land back.
Well, apparently there's some people over on CNN that don't like people like me. We call them anchors over on CNN, apparently. But this wasn't an anchor. This was a contributor.
If they're an anchor, can we throw them into the ocean?
One could only wish. We can. Now, we might get in a lot of trouble, but we can throw them in the ocean. As long as they don't drown, we're okay. We won't go to jail. We hope.
Toss a little chum in there with them.
I didn't say it. I did not disagree with it. According to the commentator on CNN, white people will need to be held accountable
For voting for Trump.
for voting for Trump if Kamala don't win. We'll be held. First off, I want to know what the hell they mean by that. Who hold accountable to who?
Yeah, really, I'd like to know. Held accountable. And how will they be held accountable?
Will it be what burn, loot, murder? Will it be Antifa? Will it be
Burn, loot, murder is already in New York freaking out about what is that Daniel Penny trial going on?
See, I don't know nothing about this.
The guy that got in a chokehold in the subway for threatening people, and he actually suffocated.
Oh, they had to have another one of those.
So
on time.
No, that trial is just now going. Oh yeah, that is kind of convenient, being right before the fucking election.
Right on time. What do you know?
You know, I didn't put two and two together until you put your wrist up, and I was like, oh, that's why they do.
They need outrage. They've got to have something to be outraged about besides Trump. They got to have some other moral reason.
So burn, loot, and murder are going to be in New York setting fires to things, and I'm sure it's going to spread to other places, you know, to other places without subways.
Ladies and gentlemen, this could be that spark that they've been looking for.
Oh yeah, they'll
really
try.
Could.
They're already trying to make it that. You know, they're already trying to make it the hands up, don't shoot, or I can't.
Oh
breathe.
yeah, they need to. They've got to create something to create controversy. We're too close to an election. They've got to screw stuff up.
Yeah, I mean it's bad enough that we're already on high alert in Europe right now. Our army bases in Europe, our military bases in Europe are on high alert right now.
Really?
Yeah, because the IDF has said, screw you, America. We don't give a shit what you say. We're going to go over here and bomb Iran. Fuck you.
As they should. You hear what they did the other day?
Yeah.
With the leak?
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, that was actually false information that they leaked. They did it to see who the leaker was.
Really?
Turns out it was us. Well, America.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm surprised by that, but yeah, I believe I heard a report yesterday that it was intentionally given that information.
The Biden administration hates Israel and hates the Jewish people.
Yep. And they leaked it straight to Iran. To our enemies, nonetheless. We need to get rid of these people for treason and give them the punishment listed for treason in the documents. So speaking of people who need to be taken care of for treason, yeah, I said it and I'll say it twice more. The commenter on CNN, though my opinion could use some, brains, wants the white people, said that white people will be held accountable for not saving their democracy. Here's where my head exploded.
We live in a republic.
We are not a democracy. We are not a democracy. I get so sick of hearing these fucking news anchors talk about democracy.
Our democracy. And it's a talking point. It's just because they are Democrats and they want a democracy. They don't want a constitutional republic. They want a democracy.
And they want to convince you that that's what we are.
They're trying to kill the electoral college to make it a democracy,
a true democracy,
so that like 3 or 4 cities across the nation are the only ones that choose our federal elected
Anything.
officials.
Or
Yeah.
choose anything.
Yeah, well, our federal officials.
Yeah. They want to make sure that democracy is the way. It's rule of law of mob, not law.
Yeah.
Rule of mob.
Yeah.
If 51% of the
Tyranny.
people say it will be this way,
Tyranny of the majority.
the other 49% will pay the price regardless.
Now, here's another scary one. This should scare the crap out of you. Lizzo, the land whale, holding concerts during Kamala rallies, is now
In a
telling us...
completely unrelated story, there's been earthquakes reported near each Kamala Harris campaign event for some reason.
Mo. She has said proudly that if Kamala Harris wins, that the country will be like Detroit. Has anybody fucking seen Detroit lately?
It's a shithole. It's a shithole. I'm sorry, it is.
I have driven through that state repeatedly. That state is a fucking mess. It is a war zone.
It's a shithole. Ever since we shut down,
I will not spend the night there in a semi truck because I'm afraid of getting shot.
and Detroit was bad before it went bad. So now it's really horrible. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to live in a post-apocalyptic wasteland that looks like something
That's
out of
what
a really
Lizzo-
bad sci-fi movie?
That's what Lizzo basically straight up freaking said.
So, I mean, I was already going to vote for Trump. I didn't need any more pushing, but I do appreciate it.
The unions drove the population out of Detroit. The crime that moved in there destroyed the city.
Well, the administration back was in Biden, or not Biden, Biden, Obama, started destroying Detroit back then. Isn't that when Detroit fell?
Oh no, Detroit fell 50 years ago.
Well,
Detroit was on decline.
they were still manufacturing, though.
3 decades. Oh, they're still manufacturing there.
What are they manufacturing?
The F-150, the F-150
Are they really?
Lightning, or the Lightning. Sorry, the Lightning.
Because
I
they
haul
used to
parts
be
for
the
Lightning.
main manufacturer.
The Chevy pickup truck. Well, the F-150, F-150, the F-250, and 350 are made in Louisville. But yeah, the Lightning, which is an EV, there are.
So they make
was it?
3-4
like
models
the
there now?
Camaro. There are certain vehicles that they do make there that I've hauled steel for.
Gotcha.
That I've delivered. I've delivered in Detroit, and I've also delivered at a place near Dearborn, and then a place out near.
But
Ann
it's
Arbor.
not the industry that it used to be.
No.
That used to be the...
No. The auto industry is moving out of union states.
It seems to me in the
right
last...
to work states,
like-
and the union is trying to chase them.
In the last 2 or 3 decades, it seems that like Detroit fell.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were doing General Automotive there for a while in
Like
our
30 and
lifetime.
40. Well, they're still doing that, but the problem is,
But nothing now like they were.
The thing is, most everybody is moved out of the city. You know that like Philip Morris used to be in Chicago.
Yep.
You know what the Philip Morris building is now? They
What's
freaking
that?
pushed that sumbitch down last year.
Did they? Yeah. So it's gravel now. It's dirt. It's nothing.
Yeah, they're pushing it down. When I was there last about 4 or 5 months ago, they were pushing that building over.
Holy cow!
And that building is huge. It's a huge building. It's a magnificent building. I tell you, it's an awesome building. So yeah, huge building, like 12 stories, something like that. And yeah, they pushed that bitch over.
Holy shit!
Yep.
They, the city, right? We use the royal they there.
Land developer.
Land
So,
developer.
I mean, basically, it's a big parking lot of gravel and rock. And a lot of that area now, a lot of South Detroit is Chicago is destroyed. And it's for the same reason Detroit is. The unions came in, destroyed the industry, and then everybody left.
Got
And
it.
unions suck shit through a straw. Fuck you, I don't care. Unions freaking suck. And if you don't think they do, take a drive through Gary, Indiana, Detroit, Michigan, South Chicago, Central Chicago.
Well, look what happened in the last 6 months. We've had all these unions.
Parts of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, parts of Ann Arbor, Michigan, Flint, Michigan,
Well, I mean,
parts of Pittsburgh.
look at the last couple months when we've had these unions come forward and say all of our members like Trump, so we're not going to endorse anybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that should
yeah.
tell you right there they don't really give a shit about their members.
No, they don't.
That pay them nonetheless.
No.
They should have to endorse whoever the members say.
That's
the paying members.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is they've been pushing their members to vote Democrat for the longest freaking time, and then finally they're like, "Whoa, wait a minute." They're trying to destroy our way of life. And it's like all of these Democrat union leaders are they're trying to rake in the dough.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, the workers are going, whoa, wait a minute. If they do what they say they're going to do and push in all these EV mandates, we are fucked.
Screwed, dude.
You are screwed.
EV is the worst way to go.
Yeah, every drivetrain and every valve train or powertrain worker is done.
Not to count the batteries and the hazards that those cause just being an EV.
Oh, and they're building a battery factory in Spring Hill, Tennessee, and they're building another.
I'm sorry, what?
They're building a battery factory in Spring Hill, Tennessee. I've been passing it before I got hurt. I was passing that thing every week, and then they're building one in Kentucky, south of doggone it.
South of doggone it. I'm not sure where doggone it is.
I'm trying to think of where it is. Like exit 81, something
Gotcha.
like it's like 80 miles up into the up into Kentucky.
Really?
On
So
I-65.
it's right there
It's
at our border.
on the freaking interstate. No, it's 80 miles.
That's on our border.
80 miles above the Kentucky line.
Yeah, that's not very far.
Now it's halfway. Well, it's a little more than halfway to Louisville. Louisville starts at like exit 129.
Oh.
So yeah, it's about it's less than it's more than halfway, but still, I mean 80 miles from the border of
Gotcha.
So
I mean, that's
there's
still
two of
pretty
them right
close.
there that they're building. And the one here is an Ultium. I don't know what the other one is in
But they're
Kentucky.
EV battery
Yeah,
or
they're EV battery. They're
Yeah.
EV battery factories. Yeah.
Which-
And they're huge.
which
They're so
explains why
huge.
they needed lithium so close over North Carolina.
Mhm.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
But Kamala is technically not the president yet, right? We've talked a lot about Kamala, and she is coming up as being
Even if she
the
becomes
candidate.
president, she won't be the president.
Ain't that the truth? But she's not the actual president right now. Right now, we're still dealing with Dementia Joe, right?
Kind of. Not really.
I mean, we don't hear much from him,
He's
but,
on the fucking beach, dude.
but he's worried, right?
Yeah, he is worried, and he is talking to was that the Quad?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about how if Donald Trump comes in, he is going to destroy the
Globalism.
the global world order that they're trying to bring in.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
And he's worried about that. Because honestly, Biden has already sold this country off to the world, the World
Economic Forum, yeah.
Yeah. He's already sold this country off. He's just waiting for the check to clear.
Or come back in the money laundering.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, I know they're doing that. They're doing that crap through Ukraine.
Right.
And that's another thing he was worried about also. If Trump comes in, the Ukraine money will dry up because Trump is not going to put up with that shit. He's not going to send billions and billions of unmarked dollars without any kind of oversight to a country to fund a war that we have no business being in.
So, you're absolutely right. He will. I mean, it's like Trump's going to come in and shut off all foreign money. Duh.
Yeah, all U.S. aid needs to go away. We're $35 trillion and racing in debt.
He's going to stop sending money to these other countries.
Not
He
only
won't
that,
support Israel. He won't support Ukraine. Duh.
With BRICS dropping us as the United States, the U.S.
The world currency.
The world currency.
Reserve, yes.
Of the U.S. dollar. And dumping our dollar back into the money supply.
which is
What the
only
hell do
going
you
to
think is-
increase inflation even more.
What do you think is going to happen to inflation with an increased money supply of that much?
He's not.
Trillions of $18 trillion.
And you told me earlier somebody else is about to divest in the American dollar, right?
Germany is thinking about it. There's other countries thinking about it.
Wasn't Putin?
Oh well, yeah. Putin is the one doing this.
Okay.
It's BRICS. It's Russia.
Well, BRICS
Russia's
ain't just
basically
Russia. BRICS is
Russia's the big dog daddy of BRICS.
yes, but technically BRICS. You're talking about Brazil, Russia, Australia,
Who's the king shit of BRICS? Russia.
Russia. Yeah, they're the
And
biggest.
Putin is the one doing these meetings this week. This week he's doing these meetings to divest in our dollar.
In Australia is Indonesia. I'm sorry, not Australia.
Yeah, it's Indonesia.
But yes, and yeah, of course he should be very afraid of that. That's exactly what Trump's going to do is save the money here at home. America first, as you and me are America first.
Yeah, I mean he's preventing the globalism. He's preventing the wars, open borders, the rampant propaganda, big pharma crimes, global warming hoaxes, lenience towards sex offenders and trafficking. All of this. I mean, he's going after all of this, and
Yes.
it all needs to be stopped.
So I think that's a great place to pull the whole show together right here. Even though we ended talking about Biden, I said earlier, this show is to convince you why Kamala is a bad idea. And I think this sums it up. This paragraph here sums up why Kamala
Because
is such a bad idea.
I'm telling you, if she stays in office, all this shit continues.
If you like wars and wars coming to your country and not knowing whether or not we're going to be bombed here in America, if you like
want a
nuclear
total-
war,
if you want a total collapse of our United States dollar, go ahead, vote Democrat.
if you want more illegals in this country permanently, more so than regular Americans, to the point that regular Americans will be the minority and eventually no longer here in this country.
Cloud pivot.
If you want propaganda to be the only news given out across the airwaves legally all day, every day, and no other dissenting voices to be allowed. If you want Big Pharma to continue doing what it's doing, keeping people sick, unchecked, and getting away with literal murder all day, every day.
Clot shots.
If you want to be taxed out your ass because some asshole said the oceans might rise 1.5 inches in a billion years. If you want sex offenders in your schools, around your children, and people trafficking and stealing your children,
Are trying to convince them to change their sex.
vote Kamala. Vote Democrat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Period. Vote Democrat. If you don't want any of this,
If you want that wonderful utopia.
that is the biggest shithole dystopian you're ever going to see. If you want that, vote Kamala. If you want to fight all of that I just mentioned, if you think all of that is a bad idea, that we don't need wars, we don't want open borders, we don't like propaganda, Big Pharma needs to be held accountable, global warming is
Don't get us wrong here. I'm not a Trump fan. Okay? I'm not a rah MAGA Trump fan. Okay? I am this guy is going to stop the bullshit from happening.
Yes.
So he's the one we have to vote for right now. I did not want to vote for the host of The Freaking Apprentice. All right? That's not who I want as my freaking president. There are better freaking choices, but they refuse to run because this is the way they're treated when they do. They get shot at, they get freaking crushed financially, they get attacked,
destroyed in the media,
all because they want to stand up for the country and the other side wants to sell us off.
Exactly. And yeah, I was the same way. In 2016, I was not the super pro-Trumper. I thought the wall was a dumb idea. I thought of some of the stuff he said
I thought the wall was a great idea.
I thought at the time it was a dumb idea. I think it's a great idea now, but I thought it was dumb at the time. There are a couple of things he said I'm like, no, he's a freaking actor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was the same way. After living 4 years under Trump.
We had Schwarzenegger in California.
Right.
We know how that shit worked out. But I think there was only one actor that I know of that did anything worth a shit.
I know.
Go
Reagan!
ahead. There we go.
So I was the same way. I didn't want, now after living for 3-4 years under a Trump presidency, there's nothing I want more right now than another Trump presidency.
Yeah.
Honest to God. Given what we've got right now, there's nothing I want more.
And what they're scared of is he's only got 4 years. After that, he can't run again.
He's done.
So, and I know the Democrats go, no, he's just gonna take it, and he's gonna be a full dictator. He's never gonna leave. Shut the fuck up.
No, that's what they want to do.
He can never leave office, and that's exactly what they want. They want somebody that can come in and be the next Putin,
Right.
and be in there until he freaking dies.
And that's what Obama hoped it could do, but he wasn't able to get the weapons away from the people. Ladies and gentlemen, never give your guns up.
Nope.
That's the one thing that will always stop them.
Again, I know we're fixing to end the show, but again, really quick, as I do at the end of every show, early voting is still going on in the state of Tennessee and in other states as well. In many states, get out there early. I'm telling you, the election day is going to be fucked. It is going to be completely screwed. You need to get out there and vote now. Bank your vote in. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are kind of wondering whether they're actually going to count these votes. Yes, they're going to count these votes. They're already counting these votes. Some of the early tallies are actually kind of looking good for Trump, from what I hear. So get out and vote early. All right, and don't be like a Democrat and vote often, but vote early.
Right. Right. So I'm with you on this one. Vote early, vote early, vote early. Now, I will make the argument, as I know some of are thinking, they will have the numbers beforehand. They will be able to cheat a little easier. Maybe, maybe not. Because at this point, they're going to have to start coming up with numbers that are absolutely absurd impossible.
At this point, Kamala looks incredibly terrible. I mean, she looks completely awful, and they are painted into a corner. They can't push anybody else in there now.
No,
it's done. It's 2 weeks to freaking election day. They are screwed.
So let's game this out. What would happen if, say, I got cancer, I've got to step down? What would happen?
We would have a Vance president, and I'm going to tell you.
No, Kamala.
Oh, God.
At this moment, we're to say, as we sit right now, we're to say, I've got cancer or I've got whatever.
Are you talking about Biden?
I don't. That's what I'm asking. What would be next? Would they put a Michelle in there? Would they try to bring Biden back? Would they try to put Hillary in?
Well, no.
What do you think would be the play?
Constitutionally, Tampon Tim would be it.
Would he? Don't they have just enough time to switch it out? Can they do like a write-in?
Well, yeah, they could do a write-in, but I think Tampon Tim is it.
So they'd have to go with Tampon Tim.
And that guy is a freaking idiot.
They might as well just say, please vote Trump at that point. Right? Like, I mean, he's not an idiot. He's a knucklehead. Get his words right.
Self-admitted knucklehead.
On that, ladies and gentlemen, these two knuckleheads with microphones are getting out of here. I'm Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf.
I'm CD Spivey.
And this has been Censored Freedom.
Thank y'all. Follow us, comment, let us know how we're doing, man. We want to know.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Hakuna Matata, bitches.